Okay, so I did a video a couple weeks ago featuring this little airplane. This is my Hobbyzone Super Cub LP. Again, it is the RTF. It came with the DX4E transmitter, and wanted to do a follow-up because what I had done at that point is modified the stock wing and added ailerons. That did not go very well. I needed to make some modifications that I'll explain in just a moment. I've got a new wing on this and recut my ailerons, and in this version it works really well. But before I do that, I'll let you know that what happened is my ailerons, in fact I've got the old wing right here. Bear with me, I'll put it right on top. You can see kind of side to side. Alright, there we go. The old wing, the original wing that came with the plane, I cut the ailerons 11 inches long and 1 inch deep. And that's just not big enough. It didn't... I did have control of the airplane to some extent, but it really didn't fly very well. It was sluggish, and I wound up coming in a little bit fast. I couldn't bank out of a bit of a dive that I was in quick enough, and wound up nosing into the ground, and then the wingtip hit and I wound up in a cartwheel. So I did some pretty good damage, but I did get the wing repaired, played with it to modify it and see what I could do, what the potential was before I got a new wing. But the biggest damage was to the front of the airplane. There was a lot of compression in this area. It just really scrunched it up, and I completely obliterated my cowling, just turned it to shreds. So I had to get a new cowling. The prop survived just fine. The spinner made it out okay, and so that was kind of fortunate. But what I did to sort of get the fuselage back in shape is I saw a video online saying you can dip it in hot water. And so I removed the motor, taped it down below, and then boiled some water and dipped the fuselage in it. It worked fine. I don't know if you can see, you might can see even where my water line was there, but it did blister the surface a bit. What happens when you dip this foam in hot water is the air in the bubbles of the foam expands, and it does pop it back into shape. So it worked quite well. I just get a little bit of a dimpled or a scaled type finish after you do it. So I was pretty happy with that. But I got the plane back in shape. The motor's fine. Like I said, propeller's fine. Everything else is good. I got a new wing so I could cut some new ailerons. And I did some things to the wing that I really wanted to kind of go over and talk about beyond what was in the last video. So I'll show you up here. First of all, well, let me show you on the old wing first. If you look, they're kind of not very cleanly cut, and that's partially my fault. I'll admit I didn't spend a lot of time on it in this case, but the way the instructions and a couple of things I saw online said to do this is to cut your ailerons out and then cut in at 45 degrees, and then from the bottom cut in at 45 degrees to create a point, and that's what gives you the ability to go up and down. These ailerons are also held on with three, and I don't think you're going to be able to see them, probably not, but there's three little bitty pieces of flexible plastic that act as hinges. I just use contact cement and put them in place. I guess I was using Gorilla Glue at the time, and that worked just fine. So the hinges are great. There's not a problem there. It's just the ailerons are too small, and it just doesn't look good from the top having it cut like this. Even if I'd done a nicer job, it could certainly be better. So what I read, and I'll show you what I did. So this is much smoother across here, and the reason I did a single bevel in the bottom of the aileron that just comes all the way up to the top. So my point is right here on the top, and these ugly scaly things are my hinges. They're not pretty, but at the same time, you know, what I did was something else that I saw in a YouTube video. I used a hot glue gun. I just taped it off and put hot glue on the surface. It did bubble up again and blister. It did not melt, and it created a fantastic hinge. And I got my servo hooked up, but it's really flexible. It works extremely well, and I just put 3 of them across the aileron. This aileron is 15 inches long. I'm sorry, 14 inches long, and 1 3/4 inches deep. So considerably larger. I can flip up and down here. And then you can see the other one on the other side. Now that gives me a lot of control, and so I had this one out flying yesterday, and had a lot of fun with it. It really does respond well, and I was able to do all kinds of things, barrel rolls and some really kind of fun stuff. So not full 3D, but it is for a foamy and a plane that I've still got the original engine in, or motor. It's is quite fun. So I highly recommend this particular upgrade. The control unit is still stock. I didn't upgrade that. And so you can just add ailerons and servos, and they plug right in. It's already prepared for the 4-channel upgrade. So anyway, I did that. The other thing that I did after the accident is when I got this new wing, I removed the dihedral. So instead of being kind of bowed, kind of up on either side, the dihedral helps to keep your plane level. And it's kind of a for beginners and for just ease of flight. But when it comes to just flight dynamics, I think you get a much better sort of flight characteristic with a flat wing. And so I did do that. I'll show you how I did that. But there's one other thing to mention before I show you how I did that, and that is, you may also notice there are no struts. This plane, and I can show you, actually comes with these struts that you may recognize that go kind of under here. And when you remove the dihedral, of course, the strut is now too long. And I saw a video, because I noticed I really thought it was pretty frustrating having to constantly, every time I took the plane apart, took the wing off, I had to unscrew the struts from the bottom. There was a gentleman that posted a video that talked about how you can take just really strong box tape. This is just clear box tape that I've got on here. I don't know if you can see the shine or not. This is just electrical tape for some stripes that I put on here, but nothing fancy there. But the box tape is really strong, and what it does is you go wingtip to wingtip, and it creates a very kind of a diaphragm action. You did it on the top and the bottom of the wing. So what happens is when that wing tries to flex up, it's pulling against the bottom tape, and when it tries to flex down, it's pulling against the top tape, and the result is a much stronger wing. So it's a lot harder to bend, and I don't have to have the struts. Makes it a lot easier to set up and break down and so forth. The other thing that I did is, and this is new, I added a bamboo skewer to the back elevator here. This was really flexible before, and it flew okay. It was a little swimmy, and so I thought I would stiffen it up, and I saw online that is something a lot of people were doing, so I went ahead and did that. You just cut a slit, and then this is just a bamboo skewer from the grocery store. It's about $1 for a pack of, I don't know, 50 of them or something. And I coated it in cement and then just wedged it down in the little slit that I made, and it offers a great deal of support. I think it is a lot more stiff, and the plane's a lot more responsive. What I'm going to do now, I'll turn the plane over. Oh, I will tell you, also I mentioned in my last video the popsicle stick right here to reinforce behind the wing, and very, very little, if any, compression, even after that really horrible crash. So I think the popsicle stick did its job. It helped to stiffen this area up here right at the base of the wing, or the back of the wing, and prevent any damage to the fuselage or distortion to the foam back there, which is critical because you want your wing to be straight. Let me see if I can flip it over here. Oop. Okay, so now we're on the bottom of the plane. I did increase the size of my wheels. I think these are 2.5 from the stock wheels, and I can land it on grass with a little practice, but you can do it. Underneath the wing, again, plastic tape, bamboo skewer on the end. You can see where I am on the wing. I ran a bamboo skewer here, and I've got one here that goes under the fuselage and out the other side, and I've got one up here in the front of the wing. So really stiffen it up. But in order to remove that dihedral, which by the way also allows your plane to lay upside down really nicely, just a side benefit, what I did was I put a couple of, like a 2x4 or something. I don't know if it was a 2x4, but it was close. It was just a piece of furring wood that I found under this wingtip and then under the other wingtip, and just kind of mashed down, and I got it past flat, and then I put these really heavy duty, this has got like thread in it, tape across just about 6 inches or 9 inches out from the fuselage here on either side. You don't want to go all the way to the wingtip or you distort your wing, or so I read. But this worked really well. As soon as I did that, boom, the wing's flat. So then I came back and I cut my slits. I put my bamboos in there as just reinforcement, and I was ready to go. So that worked really well. Here you can see my large bevel on the bottom, and to be honest, it doesn't look much more exaggerated than doing it on the top and the bottom, but it's only on one side of the wing. So I thought, and it is, by the way, a much neater kind of a cut. I took a little time with the metal straight edge. When I put my servos in, on the bottom of these guys are some silicone glue, and that's because if I want to pop them out, like for instance after a crash, you can get them out pretty reasonably. And then I just, instead of taping, I just cut another slit and pushed my wire up in the wing to make it kind of nice and neat. Now that is under my box cutting tape, that support tape is there. But that's how that works. This combination, I really couldn't believe it. It seemed like a completely different airplane. When I did, and I had a ball flying this thing the other day, so it works really well. I'll mention now, since I got the cowling, I did nose in on a couple landings, and you can see it's not cracked. I got this one little crack right here, but that's really cosmetic. And what I did was I put electrical tape all inside the cowling on the bottom half, so you can't see it. It still looks pretty neat, but it does give additional stability there. So that's pretty much what I've done to upgrade this Super Cub, and flies great. The next thing I'm going to do is put the floats on it and take it to the lake. I've got my confidence up. I think I've got it tuned in like I like it, and I'm going to have some fun trying to land it on the water. I will shoot some video, and I do have a couple of little 808 keychain high-def cameras I'm going to attach on the wing to see if I can, maybe I'll put it on the fuselage, but I think the wing would be better to get some video, in-flight video, and I'll upload that and share it as well. So anyway, that's what I've done to my Super Cub. Hope it's as helpful in some way. If you have any questions, please post, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks so much.